I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into it. This is the second one of these hunts where I'm taking a group of them and making 150 PED worth of hunts to then look at the larger span of things. This time I have my pet Cuppa following with me. I was keeping him around long enough to get him to level 10 so that he could then pick up an additional skill or an ability type of thing. I'm wanting to do a video with that, but I really want to hold off on doing that video until I got Cuppa to level 10, because I feel like I would be able to do that video in greater detail. The good news is Cuppa is now level 10. The bad news is I have way more questions and things to answer before I actually want to release the video. So I'm glad that I waited to do this video until I got him to level 10. A lot of my initial thoughts were off by a few degrees. It's coming out soon, so look for it to be up in the top right hand corner, and I'll link it to this video. If it's not out yet, it will be eventually. I just got to get some more food and whatnot to get Cuppa through a few more tests before I release that video. Also want to talk about a few tactics or lucks, or a little bit of luck I've had with auctions. As you know, I'm on Planet Arcadia, so my auctions when they go on Planet Arcadia are kind of different than if you were on someplace like Calypso. I'm either targeting the Planet Arcadia market, or I'm looking to be so enticing that someone off planet would be willing to pay at least 2 PED to go ahead and get that shipped to them. Hey guys, I want to interrupt this real quickly to show you this global and live. This is what it looked like. Okay guys, that was my big global of this. Hope you guys appreciate it. Let's get back to it. I tend to only sell fruit, not stone, when I'm selling found objects. I don't really consider 3 PED to be like an upsell. I consider it to be probably about the minimum of what I would expect to get for the amount of risk I'm willing to put into it. I'm not pressured to sell. This is extra PED that I use for different things. This isn't how I get by day to day or usually plan out hunts. So this 2 PED is more of something, or this few PED I get is more used to build towards things that I don't normally get to do, and which means I don't have a time frame. So if I can do it at 3 PED, then I do it at 3 PED as a minimum. For sure, 3 PED is not the most I've ever sold any of these fruits for. The most was one time there's some sort of drought and I got 15 PED for Papone. And I have no idea why that was. They just went ahead and bought it for 15. I can tell you that there was a drought everywhere and fruit was selling for a lot at that point in time. So I don't know. But I took, I won't say advantage of it, but I did get a little piece of that pie, I guess you could say. So I mentioned I don't normally sell stone. The reason why I don't sell stone is because these days I've been using it to craft. I have been saving it and saving it and saving it, and this kind of touches into 2 different YouTubers' videos that I've watched here recently. One which is StevieB, where he talked about when is it good to pay for a mothership warp or the 7 PED to transfer from like Calypso to Monuras. I have kind of got those detailed in my mind. I've been shot down a couple times, but I know where those tend to be. And in my case, it was right off Arcadia. I've been shot down twice because of the path I took. I now take a different path, and I haven't been shot down since, knock on some wood. And the other one is on my way to Monuras. So knowing that, I feel like those are probably areas that are still a little more patrolled, but that is not always the case. I would want to navigate that in a way that I would not lose a lot. Now, while this may not be a huge money investment, the time investment in collecting the type of stuff I'm talking about collecting would be a lot. So this kind of goes into what I'm talking about with the other YouTuber I alluded to in the first part of this. Donald Wilson, who's both a YouTuber and a Twitch streamer, has talked about doing 30 days or 30 crafts or 30 like Monuras Stowaway and Supplies, which is the one I'd be doing, or doing the Tulum tailoring craft for 30 days, and then you get, in the case of Stowaway and Supplies, the 75 peck per day you're able to do it. So in 30 days, that would literally be that'd be what, 7.5 PED is 10, so times that by 3, a little math on the fly, it'd be 2250, 22.5 PED. And if I did that for 30 days, I believe I'd get the level 10 in one of my skills, which would then allow me to go ahead and get blueprint comprehension, which is where I wanted to be when I went to the mothership, which kind of actually is an old video where StevieB talks about getting to level 10 is not the stopping point, it's the starting point. So now that you got this new skill, now you want to jack up all your other skills that use this universal crafting skill like blueprint comprehension, and you want to really go for it. Well, that's when I plan to actually go there and do that, and to use a different method maybe to get there than what he was talking about for my own I guess adventure. We'll get into that in the future. That also means I'm going to have a huge crafting session at some point in time, hopefully in the future, where I take all the welding wire I have and I then craft that into actual welding wire I take on the ship. And I'll probably do that at a certain location. I don't know which one I want to do that at, to try to generate blueprints for that area. And then I'll go ahead and fly off from there, and you get the general idea, and be welding and doing repairs and stuff like that. And then we'll see what X number of PED in this will take me from 0 in vehicle structure repair, or whatever my actual profession levels will be at that point, plus my actual skill of 000, and we'll track that for the number of PED I spend. And we'll get a good idea what that could do and mean in the future too. So there's a lot to come with that, and I think that would be very singular, because it would be, I've got very little skill in this because I only repair my my Slipner or my quad whenever I'm flying around, and then we go on from there to do these other things. I'm going to set this down because it's kind of bothering me. Give me a second here. It's empty, so it like tips and wobbles, and I'm afraid my hands are going to knock it over. So I digressed. Let me go ahead and get back to what I was saying. So I'm going to take enough stone to Monuras to literally do that for 30 days. I'm going to have excess stone. I'm going to leave that stone to then come back in the future and just do it again. The stone I craft, I'm either going to ship at that time or wait till I dry up essentially, and then move back to Calypso and then sell all that off eventually, and we'll see where I end up with that at the end of this. And that'll be a good video, I think, in the end too. And again, that covers both going by mothership from wherever I am, probably Arcadia, to Monuras, and then I'll fly over with no fear of loss because I won't have anything on me, to Calypso to pick up my stone extractors, probably where they're going to be, and fly, or not fly them, but use the teleport to go to Monuras back. So it's going to cost me, I was told it's 10 to 15 PED for a mothership, and it's going to cost me 7 PED for the teleport one way. And then when I come back, it'll cost me another 7 PED. So if, let's just say it costs 15, that's a total of 29 PED to move my stuff around for me to get a whole bunch of skills, and then take a bunch of stuff I could then sell back. And I'll probably do that way. I will do more crafting before I do that, but we'll see what it is. Right now, my thoughts are 1,500 point runs will give me the 500 successes I need for the mission. When I get my blueprints up, I'll be able to do 1,200 point runs, 1,200 click runs, and that should give me what I need. The best blueprint I have is the basic filters blueprint. and that needs that's only 71% complete, I guess you can say. So I'm getting really close to where I'm getting good returns on that, and I'm going to be doing that kind of crafting before I do this, but I'm going to be saving my stone crafts for later. I need to see exactly what I have. Right now I have about 3,000 Burkite and probably about 1,000 other stone, and that's on Arcadia. I can't remember what I have on Calypso. It's been a little bit since I've been there, but I'm going to be going there probably in the next month or so and do a big mining run for the basic filters craft, which will probably be next month, and that will be, well, I don't know when the video will come out, but next month I probably will be doing the video. But that will be a 50 PED or more, because I want to really hit that basic filters. I'm going to do that and get enough for several still weighted supplies runs, and then knock out some more still weighted supplies a couple times before it's actually time to go and so anyways, you get the general idea. I'm going to go check and see what I got there, get a complete tally, and then every time I add to my Arcadia, I'll just add to that number so I know what I have. Looking at 1,500 per day, so that would be times 30 for 30 days, that would be 45,000. Yes, 45,000 stone total. It doesn't have to be all Burkite, but it would have to be stone, and that would give me way more than I need, because I will get returns. But I just kind of want to see if I push that far, what that would look like. And that also means that I'm going to need 30,000 basic stone extractors. Again, that's very expensive. That I've been seeing about 140%, 130%, depends on how many you buy, depends on what you get. So that's a good markup, because that'd be basically about 42 to about 45 PED worth of basic stone extractors. Do that, and then I kind of want to do the same type of thing sometime in the future, way in the future, with leather. I'll probably do that in Toulon, and there's just some reasons why that would be the case with that. But I have a generic leather, and I probably collect a whole bunch of generic leather, get it all in one source, and then send it off at one time and do it that way. So those are kind of by end of Mayhem 2023, I'll do the stone, and hopefully by Christmas of 2023, I'll be doing the Toulon leather push. And if you want to know sort of the future where I'm taking this with the crafting, that's where I'm kind of thinking with that. Things could change. I was gifted something this month by Scotty C or Scotty _ C 93. I'll put the link actually directly to his channel, as well as StevieB and Donald Wilson's channel down below in this video, so you can find them and check them out. Anyway, Scotty gave me a couple of deeds to help kind of build up my deeds, and I think whenever I find some big windfalls, or whenever I have like some globals, instead of just using that to do more videos or whatever, I might just start investing that back into what I'm going to call like an Arcadia Underground windfall or whatever, and then that will be where I can kind of build up some of those or other deeds, and then because I eventually want to do videos where I talk about deeds. It didn't fit my playstyle in the past, but I think it is starting to fit my playstyle more. I think that I want to be more precise in what I'm doing, and we'll see how things go. So, a lot to swallow, a lot to think about with that. You probably have noticed there's been a lot more professions scrolling by than you normally see, and that's because in the last video I forgot to add them to the video itself. There was a lot going on in that video, and it just happened to be something I forgot. So I went ahead and added them to this. It's kind of in the same time period, so it'd be kind of similar, and it gives you a chance to see what I did. I didn't quite get this much in this month, but I did get quite a few. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into what these professions are. Okay guys, so you can see here with the ammo looter card, um, it went ahead and gained less than a percent of alertness. I wasn't tracking some skills still. This will be the case until my cards change, which will come up here in a little bit. So no analysis, though it should have been tracked. No biology, though it should have been tracked. That type of stuff. No zoology, though it should have been tracked. But the big ones are, I got 5.25% of a level because my anatomy went up. 5.4% because of dexterity. 15.05 for skinning. So continuing to hunt animals has really made that grow quite a bit. Gained a little less than, or a little more than 25% of a level, which means if I do that 4 times, I probably get right about an entire level of ammo looter, which is pretty good considering the level of ammo looter I have at this point in time. Going to evader, you can see here there are certain skills that I have not started tracking yet. Oh, not that I haven't started tracking, that I haven't unlocked yet, and I have some skills that level or abilities that go up so slowly that they just register as 0%. That would actually be like 0.0003% if you actually go into like 45 to where in 45 I am, but I'm not trying to do that. As you can see, it's still very, very low. Alertness, those things are starting to slow. Well, never really were fast in the first place, but they're so little bonus benefit that they do eventually get there. The big one though is combat reflexes, which is terrible to say at 3.5. The big one should be, I guess, evade. But again, my evade is getting to the point where numbers are starting to slow down. So I only got 4.5% of a level just from evade. I'd have to do several of these hunts before I gained an actual new level of evader. Evader really has kind of slowed down, unfortunately. Moving on to laser damage. Again, I have agility in there. It has 0% essentially. Anatomy is another one that was pretty nice at 15.000%, and you get, for whatever reason, all my skills kind of worked out this way. My laser weapon technology went up by 24%. My marksman gave me 13%. The total for this was over half a level, so if I did 2 of these, I would gain an entire level of damage. At my level, that's really good considering where I am with things. And in the future, this will be going up even a little bit faster because I'll be unlocking the ranged damage assessment coming up here in the near future. Laser sniper, again, we see this ability, this agility skill here, this 45. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this in future videos when I update my cards to a different format entirely. Right now I do it in Notepad. When I do it in the future, I'm going to be doing sort of an automated system, probably in Excel, and I'll actually be adding color to some of these. I'll be using a green, blue, purple, or white, green, blue, purple. White is the color that has nothing. Green will have one thing in common. Blue will have 2 things in common. 3 plus will be purple. What I mean by that is we've seen 3 different proficiencies that use agility. That means that there would be 3. They'd be purple for agility because that would be that. Now I've only had 1 use aim, so aim would be white. Combat reflexes has 2 or 3, so they'd be blue or green. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I think it'll become apparent, and that will give you an overall value of that skill going up compared to the professions I'm using at this point in time. So that's something to look for in the future. You can see the big winners here would be the laser weapon technology, again at 13.44%, and really on a rifle at 35.88%. Those are the 2 big winners we have here. There wasn't a whole lot else besides that in this one, but it did give us over half a level. So if I did this again, I would go up a level in that, and that's pretty big. This is an interesting one. because I didn't really use paramedic. Look at my card real quick. My total use for the Vivo S10 was 1, 3, 6, 15, 19, 21, 27 PEC. That is less than a quarter, essentially. So 21 PEC was spent on healing, yet my healing proficiency went up by, my paramedic proficiency went up by 11.53. Now, super lucky was my diagnosis going up by 2 full points. It probably was more like 1.5 point. When you get into these small numbers and you're using whole points gained, you're actually going to run in some a discrepancy where it's probably not 100% true. But that's in the long run going to be so little it won't matter, because it will kind of even out after I do like 1,500 and 15,000 PEC. These gains will stabilize and you'll be able to see what that was like. And then we can go back and look at the bell curve, and 1 point won't really matter at that point in time. But the big one here is, again, anatomy, and really only anatomy, because my first aid and diagnosis really didn't go up. They would have been, particularly first aid would have been if I had gone up anything in that. But that's kind of where things are. With these mobs, I don't even really need to use armor. I don't really need to use my healing anymore. My evader now kind of protects me, so I'm good to go. Going over to my loot card, you can see here, got a couple new things on there. I got my soft hide blue steel paint cans and my Scotts and Barlow LP 0 limited edition pistol. I ended up getting 2 of the Pyron PLP limited pistols, and I got one of the Scotts and Barlow pistol, which is pretty outstanding. And you can see that right here. Total negative was only down 3 PED out of 150. That's before markup. If I were to use this and go into markup, for sure I'd be more in that. We already talked a little bit about extractors. Extractors are doing pretty well right now. In the future, underneath total on the right hand side, when I get to my Excel sheet, all that will be factored up automatically, so you'll be able to see what I'm going to be, how much total wood extractors I've gained, and that type of stuff. And this will be the PED value, which you'll see over there, not the item value. I almost feel like it's easier to track it by PED value than it is by that. To some degree, there's going to be some give and take on that. In the end, I really would want to be tracking both of that. But that's very doable in the Excel program, because I can just divide it by the base cost, and then I can figure out how many I actually got. They'll also let me know if maybe my math is wrong, because I can't have 0.3 of a particular item. It's either you have 1 or 2. You don't really have 0.3. So that's a good way of second checking my math. I gained more of the advanced layer extractor than I had in the past, though. Again, that will be more clear when I get this other one. And I gained more basic wood extractor in this one. And there was a couple really good ones with the hides. And some of the more unusual ones were like I gained on the second hunt, hunt 68, I gained 81 PEC worth of male hides, and I gained 0.03 of female hides. That means I only got 1 female hide in the 15 PED hunt. Animal oil residue, I have 1 of these. You can see here, total, I put 15 into it, I got back 41.50. That's the hunt you're watching, obviously, because that hunt is amazing. Lots of globals and that type of stuff. So look for that in the future. Hopefully more. I would love to see more of that, but I'm very satisfied with this overall hunt. My skills are down a little bit. This kind of does weigh into the skill tax, maybe. I don't really have that math figured out to be able to say that, but it is interesting. I got less skills and I got more profit compared to the last one, where I got way more skills. I don't know. Gotta do a lot more math and gotta dig a lot deeper to figure out that before I can say one way or the other. Anyways, guys, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the like and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and keep earning that bed.